It is exactly
No, it's not.
the same.
First of all,
Okay,
let me explain
so
to you
let
how
me
it's
talk.
not the same.
Don't interrupt me.
No.
I listen to you. Don't interrupt.
Guess what? I'll interrupt you if I want to, dummy.
Hey, Brian, I'm confused. Now, I just heard you justify the shooting of Ashley Babbitt, who didn't have a gun, but because she was making threatening comments, according to you.
No, not according to me. Not according to me. There's evidence and
forget
video.
about that. Okay, forget about that.
Okay.
But making threatening comments about another side of a door that she's not on. And it's okay to shoot her. But you got a guy on a subway who you've got witnesses on video thanking this guy for supporting the same situation.
So let me respond to that.
You're okay.
So let me respond.
You're okay.
I'll respond. I'll respond to it.
Because it was a democratic or
nothing to do with politics. Nothing to do with politics.
Yeah, it
nothing to do with politics. Okay, well, are you going to let me answer your question now because you said something? Let's have a conversation about it. Thank you.
What's the difference between the two situations?
I'm going to explain it to you. So,
yeah, I know you will.
Situation number one, you're talking about Ashley Babbitt. Two different circumstances. Let's talk about Ashley Babbitt to start. First of all, it was investigated, and they found that officer who pulled the trigger.
I'm
answering your question.
Brian,
I'm answering your question about the shooting
incident. At the time,
and I'm getting into it if you will allow me to finish.
Okay, don't tell me after the fact.
I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer it, whether you like it or not. Now, please let me finish, and then I will allow you to respond. I will start over again, uninterrupted, hopefully. It was investigated.
I am too.
Sir, I don't want to pod you down, but I'm trying to answer your question. Stop interrupting me. Okay, if you're going to act like a child, I'll treat you like one. I'm answering your question. I'll let you respond. Be quiet. Let me answer. It's the problem with people like you. You don't know how to listen. Ashley Babbitt broke into the Capitol illegally. She was making threats. She made threats actually before in videos. And during that time, she was 15 to 20 feet away from politicians. She was heading towards those politicians. The chants leading up to that were hang Mike Pence, and we saw the violence that led up at that point. There were officers that day were on very high alert. There were 140 officers that were injured that day. People were getting roughed up. And it's Capitol police officers' job to protect. Now, that officer in that video raises the gun. Before Ashley Babbitt was shot, the officer was saying, stand back, get down. Ashley Babbitt did not answer to those commands, and that's why the officer shot the weapon, and Ashley Babbitt was a moron who was brainwashed and deserved what she got. And by the way, sir, the law agrees with me because it was investigated and the video surfaced everywhere. Number two, going back to the subway situation. That person who was put in a chokehold and who was murdered did not, based on the video, lunge towards any people on the subway. Now, he was yelling a lot and screaming a lot and might have even been making threats. But it was not a member of law enforcement that put him in a chokehold and killed him. It was just a regular, everyday citizen. We call that in this town a vigilante. Now, if the officer, going back to the Capitol January 6th, had put, let's just say hypothetically speaking, put Ashley Babbitt in a chokehold and she became unconscious, and he didn't release his arms as she wasn't a threat, I would have a serious problem with that. He used his gun. She was a threat because she broke the window and she was trying to get through the window to get to those politicians. That was a direct threat at their lives. You cannot kill somebody just because they're screaming and yelling. This was also not a member of law enforcement. He also kept his chokehold on him, for over a minute after this man was unconscious. Now, as I bring you back to discuss, where do you disagree with me on that, sir?
Did Ashley lunge at anybody?
She was actually broke the window, getting through the window towards those politicians. She was headed in the direction of the politicians. The reason why she couldn't necessarily lunge is because she had to break through the window, which she was attempting to get through.
I'm not talking about, gymnastics.
We're not talking about gymnastics either. This isn't. We're hold on. We're not talking about We're not.
Let me talk now.
We're not talking about gymnastics.
Let me talk now.
I'm letting you.
This conversation because it's the complete opposite of what you're trying to do.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It is exactly
no, it's not.
The same.
First of all, let me explain to you how it's not the same.
Don't interrupt me.
No.
I listen to you. Don't interrupt.
Guess what? I'll interrupt you if I want to, dummy. You're going to listen to me now, or you can hang up the phone. Either way, I really don't care. You just said a couple things that are completely factually inaccurate. And I'm going to explain why you're 150% wrong. First of all, there are a lot of differences in these cases. First of all, that guy on the subway was not in an area where he was not supposed to be. That's number one. Number two, this was not a government building. Number three, Daniel Penny is not in law enforcement. So you keep trying to make correlations between the two. She broke the law the second she got into that building. And this isn't about gymnastics, you dope. This isn't a sport we're talking about here. We're talking about people's lives. That's what we're talking about here. This isn't gymnastics. She broke a window, trying to get through that window to get to those politicians. You know, the people that were saying, hang Mike Pence. Now, I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody that might disagree with me. But if this guy's going to say we're not talking about gymnastics, and if this guy's going to try to make the correlation between the two, you're wrong. There is no correlation. By the way, the guy who shot Ashley Babbitt is in law enforcement. He had a gun. There were no weapons found on anybody's person in this subway, the two people that were involved here. He used his arms, kept him in a chokehold after he was unconscious. Why is it so hard for people like this to understand? I'm assuming he hung up the phone, of course. He played phone gymnastics. That's what he did. No, sir, this isn't gymnastics. This isn't a sport. We're talking about people's lives. But you'll probably defend somebody like Ashley Babbitt, right? A fringe, brainwashed idiot who believed everything that your orange turd orangutan said about the 2020 election. But you'll probably believe that because you'll listen to the mental gymnastics, if you want to use that word. Thank you for the call, sir. Let's go to JD. JD is next up on PTL. Hello, JD.
Thank you for the time. You mentioned that you appreciate everything that Senator Sanders has done in his 43-year career.
For the most part.
Can you name me two things?
For the most part.
Could you name me two?
Sure.
Could you name me two?
Absolutely.
Two things that you appreciate?
Absolutely. Pushing for raising minimum wage, being on the right side of history when it comes to our democracy, being able to call out Donald Trump and going on the opposition. For example, Fox News, he's the housing issues that he has continued to talk about, the poor, maternity leave, food stamps, welfare, and any government program that he has voted for, and he's voted for probably thousands of them, programs that can help minorities and help those that are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck be able to live their life, taxing the rich, their fair share, calling out Donald Trump for the biggest tax cuts in decades. There is a plethora of things that Bernie Sanders has done in his career that I admire very much, JD. Now, I named you more than two, but go ahead.
Touche. Did you hear me? Touche.
Meaning?
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're still on.
Touche. Meaning well done. I think it's a French term. I'm not positive.
Well, listen, JD, I let anyone ask me whatever they want. Doesn't mean you're always going to like my answer, but I'm going to always be honest with you.
Just real quick. I know you're busy today. Regarding Al's call, I just looked it up the other day, and according to government statistics, black home ownership was up 6% under Trump. Income was up, I can't remember the number, maybe 7 or 8%, and net worth was up for blacks and Hispanics of the 4 years of Trump, per the government agency reports.
How was it when Joe Biden took over? Were those statistics the same, or was that just a accumulation of averages over 4 years?
To be quite honest, I just looked under what it was for Trump. I don't know what it was for Biden.
The reason why.
I believe it's gone. I believe it's gone down.
Okay, so the reason why I asked that question, and you could tell me whether you disagree or not, but I think most economists, you can gather up 4 years, and that's fine. But I think most people will say, where was the economy and where were we at when Donald Trump left office? And here's what we do know. We do know that the economy was in shambles when Donald Trump took office. Now, I'm not blaming Donald Trump for everything that happened when it came to COVID, but I am blaming him for the response.
We lost 7 million jobs.
Yeah, correct. And his response was abysmal. We are one of the richest countries. We can disagree on this, but we are one of the richest countries in the world. And per capita, we had one of the worst death rates. Not the worst, but one of the worst. And yes, I put some, not all, but some of that responsibility on Donald Trump. So, we can go over numbers, but the bottom line is Donald Trump left Joe Biden a horrendous economy. Barack Obama left Donald Trump an economy not even close, far better than what Donald Trump left it as. And I think that's important to note.
Do you agree with Dr. Blair and Fauci that about 98.5% of the deaths under COVID were people with three or more comorbidities?
So over 70% of the country has comorbidities. So that doesn't surprise me one bit, JD. We are a very
three or four. They had 3 or 4 that died. 98% of them had 3 or 4. So I think that's a big contributor to that number.
So a contributor is, by the way, there are a lot of people with comorbidities around the world. Donald Trump's response to COVID, we were not ready for it. Donald Trump did an abysmal job. We'll have to leave it there. We are a very unhealthy country. There's no question about that. And you're going to be supporting and voting for a man that is morbidly obese, that has a diet of KFC and McDonald's. So if you want to talk about comorbidities, the man who you're voting for has a few of those. And by the way, he doesn't have any diseases. He wasn't born with diabetes. He became morbidly obese because he's unhealthy, because that's a decision that he decided to make himself. I think everybody has a personal responsibility. If something is hereditary, that's different. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Aaron. Aaron is next up on PTL. Hi, Aaron.
How are you doing today?
Good. What's on your mind today?
Well, I just heard good show today. I heard you ask the other caller about the two-state solution, and I was wondering what the two-state solution looks like.
Well, it's a complex answer, but not really to get in the Middle East stuff. But what a two-state solution would look like, where I'm hopeful that it would look like peace, where you have a group of people that have their land, you have a group of people that have their land, and they have a mutual agreement when it comes to the land. And I would be hopeful, and hopeful that this would lower innocent people dying, terrorist groups like Hamas. It might not. But I think it would lower the tensions. And right now, I think we both could agree there's a lot of tension in the Middle East. There always has been, but it's at an all-time high now. I don't want to see a war. The problem is I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu is on board with that. And that's part of the problem. It's not the entire problem.
Well, did you just say as far as one state would be over here, one state would be over there? That's like the boundary in the middle. But when I hear the administration talking about it, it's like the landmass stays the same. It's just you call it two states.
Well, there are different definitions in defining what exactly the two-state solution would be. The bottom line here is Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel would have to come to an agreement, obviously, with another nation in regards to a solution. Calling it a two-state solution, it might look differently with what they could agree upon. The problem is I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu even wants to go to the bargaining table. I want a two-state solution. I want a solution. Let's just start there. A ceasefire where innocent people will not die, right? But when you have hateful people in the world, particularly Hamas and some in Palestine as well, that believe Israel should cease to exist, it's very difficult to come to any solution with someone who doesn't think that Israel should exist, if that makes sense, sir.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with those folks. I appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you, sir. Very good question. I think we both want the same, right? We don't want innocent people to die. We're not talking about Israel, and now you're asking me if Israel's committing genocide. Get this idiot, this moron off the show. You are such a dumbass. I can't even have a conversation with you. Oh, my God. Oh, these people are so stupid. So the guy that's calling into the show said that I called the Young Turks, in a general term, called them anti-Semitic. I asked him to send the clip. He sends the clip over to me. I called out the Young Turks, and then I mentioned Alex Jones's name, and I said anti-Semitic. Never in that clip that you sent me did I say the Young Turks are anti-Semitic. That was the deal that we had. I did not say that. I mentioned the Young Turks, And then in the middle of mentioning that, I mentioned Alex Jones, and I said anti-Semitic. So you're wrong, and I know you probably won't be a man and admit it. And I say it once again, I do believe Alex Jones is anti-Semitic. I think Alex Jones is a racist.
Yeah, I don't know why you brought up Alex Jones.
I brought up Alex Jones because the clip that you sent me, I said Alex Jones, and then I said anti-Semitic. What the hell is wrong with you? You sent me a clip, and it shows that you're an imbecile. You're an imbecile. You're an imbecile. Those are my words. I brought up the young. Hey, dummy! I brought up Young Turks. Hey, dummy! Shut up! You're wasting my time. You sent me the clip, and you specifically said I called the Young Turks anti-Semitic. To be clear, once again,
you can't spin this, Brian.
Hey, pod this idiot down, you stupid moron. You sent me the clip, and in the clip I say the Young Turks, and then I mention Alex Jones before I say anti-Semitic. You're obviously an idiot, okay? You're wasting my time on the air. Why don't you just admit to everybody that you're anti-Semitic? What do you think about Israel? Tell us, what do you think about Israel? Let's see if we could have a.
You said the Young Turks.
Let's see. Are you willing to have a? Are you? Excuse me. What do you think about Israel? Why don't we expose you for who you are? What do you think about Israeli people?
Israel, they are performing a genocide. I know you don't.
No. I didn't say the Israeli government.
Even the IDF
Hey, dumbass. I need you to pay attention. I didn't say the Israeli government. I agree with you.
Oh, we love Israel. Everybody should love Israel, of course.
Okay.
What do you think about Palestine?
Hold on a second. What do you think about Israel? Do you think it should exist?
Of course.
Okay, good. Well, guess what? The people on the Young Turks have made statements on their show that they think it's stolen land.
Well, then you haven't watched it in years.
And they don't think, actually,
I've not heard that quote in 2 years.
Do you have his number? Because I have his number and I text him. Are you aware of that, sir?
No, I wish I had his number.
Yeah, I wish you did. You don't have any number.
The guy.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure you do, sir. But you asked me what I think about Palestinians in what sense, sir?
Do you think they have a right to exist?
Yeah. Have I ever said anything? Would you like to lie again? Have I ever said anything to the contrary of that? Have I ever said that?
I never said that you said anything like that. I'm
Why would you ask me a stupid question that you think you're asking me if
I
don't think
everyone says, what do you think about Israel?
Okay, first of all, I'm not everyone.
How about the state of Palestine? Would you like that?
I'm not everyone, so stop making generalizations. Number two, I'll answer your question and say I think everybody has the right to exist. I've said on this show before, clearly you say you listen to my show, but clearly you don't listen to what I say. As I've said, an innocent Palestinian child dying is just as bad as an innocent Israeli person losing his or her life. I've been very fair and very clear on that issue.
I know.
Okay,
very good, Brian. Do you think that
if you know, then why would you ask me my opinions on Palestinians? I just said yes. What is wrong with you?
Because Israel's doing an ethnic cleansing.
Okay,
so
let's go into that for a moment. If you believe Israel is committing genocide, why do they allow right now, as we speak, millions of Palestinians to live a life of freedom in Israel? If they truly were committing, no. First of all, that would be talking about the Holocaust. And if there were millions of Jewish people living in Germany and they were free, it would be the exact same thing. You obviously have no idea what you're talking about, okay? Now, if you think it's genocide, I really don't care what word you use to describe it. When you take an innocent person's life, it's absolutely atrocious and it's horrible. I am not a Benjamin Netanyahu fan. I am also not a fan of the Israeli government. I am very clear on that. And quite frankly, I don't care whether you think it's genocide or not. Is there anything else very productive or intelligent that you'd like to bring up on the show on a debate? Or would you like to continue to make yourself sound like the fool that you are?
You defended that it's not a genocide because they didn't use their nukes.
Excuse me. Did I bring up the word nukes in this conversation?
You did a couple days ago.
Okay, so here's why. First of all, you say the word defend because you're an imbecile. I will repeat myself once again. I do not defend the Israeli government. I believe Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. What part of that is defending? Would you like to change the wording that you're using?
You said you don't think it's a genocide because Israel hasn't used their.
Here's why I do not think it's a genocide, and I will repeat myself once again, and please get the MAGA wax out of your ears. I know you claim I'm not a Trump supporter, but you certainly sound like one, sir. So I'll repeat myself once again to you. There are millions. Okay, just take a break with the Tucker Carlson laugh for a second and pay attention, okay, sir? I just said that millions of people are living in Israel. They are living in Israel.
We're not talking about Israel.
Okay, excuse me. What do you mean?
By the way.
What do you mean we're not talking about Israel? You just asked me if Israel was committing genocide, you dope. Okay, pay attention.
Yeah, in Gaza.
Okay, what about Gaza, sir? What is your question about Gaza? Go ahead. What is your question?
You don't think it's a genocide, and why?
You just said we're not talking about Israel, and now you're asking me if Israel's committing genocide. What? Get this idiot, get this moron off the show. You are such a dumbass. I can't even have a conversation with you. Oh my God. Oh, these people are so stupid. Golly.